Lee, talk to me about the performance. Had a couple chances, didn't quite take them, but happy with I know you're not happy with the result, but the performance of the team?
Hello to the two Darrens and Leanne.
Oh.
Hello, mate.
Hello.
Listen, right, I'm beyond anything about that pitch, about who the players on the pitch, right? We are an average team. We are an average squad, okay? Right, hear me out, right? Because this is coming from a passionate Tottenham fan. I'm 43 years of age. I am Tottenham through and through, right? We go all over the country. We follow Tottenham. We love our club. Daniel Levy and Joe Lewis, our owners, need to leave, sell, and get out of our club. They are not at our football club for the same love as our fans, okay? They are using us to make themselves profit before glory, right? We've won one trophy in 21 years, okay? They are all we are now is a brand. There used to be a football club over there. We're not a football club no more. We are a brand, right? You go on Tottenham's website and it's Guns N' Roses tickets, Lady Gaga, the NFL. What? No, we're a football club. We're a football team. Start. Kane's going to go. That's why all our top players leave, because they know what Daniel Levy's all about. He buys average players, hoping that they're going to be good, and as soon as the one or two or three of them do end up being really good, sells them for a profit. Okay, buy proper players. Conte's going to go. He's off. Right, he's had enough. He looks like he's aged about 20 years already. Okay, right. You've got Hitchin and head of recruitment and the other guy, Patrice, I don't know, sitting on the bench. Okay, shouting orders near the bench, shouting orders at our players and everything. What the hell is that all about? Can you see what are they doing near our bench, right? They can't even do their own jobs properly. They can't even get in decent players in. What you think our team is good, full of average players, right? They can't even do their job properly. Get away from our bench. Go and do your job properly. And they probably can't do their job properly because Daniel Levy doesn't let them do their job properly. Because as soon as they suggest a decent player, Levy messes it up with negotiations.
Unfortunately, I think most owners of the football club don't really care about the football team. There's not many in the Premier League that do. Only the ones that are mega rich and they don't mind what happens with their money. Are you shocked, though, Lee, that there hasn't been an incoming signing just yet? I don't want to disagree with you as such, but I think it's a little bit of an overreaction. It's the first defeat in the league at the moment. If we win a couple of games in hands, you're in the top four. So, we've still got to take some positives out of it. It's a poor result, poor performance. But I, for one, I don't know about you, are you shocked that there's no signings yet?
It's awful. It is absolutely awful. If you was a chairman, if you loved our club, if you were serious about winning, right, you've had November, you've had October, you've had December to line players up, to sort stuff out. Levy's gone over to Joe Lewis in the Bahamas in the first 2 weeks of the transfer window to sit down and discuss transfers. What? Do that the month before. Don't do it during the transfer windows. In the first week, you get your players in. If you're serious about the football team on the pitch, about winning trophies, we should have had 2 players in by now. We need to get rid of loads of players. They're average, full of average players, mid-table players.
The thing is about...
This is a joke.
I agree with you to a certain degree as well, because, when you see Paratiti on the sideline and stuff like that, the director of football and things like that, you don't need everybody getting involved. But I think when you lose a game in the way you lost the game today, obviously, as a fan, you're going to be heated. You're going to think it's the end of the world. But long-term wise, when Antonio Conte got this job, I wonder what pretenses you think he took the job under, because everybody knows Antonio Conte doesn't take any prisoners when it comes to staying at a team. The fact that he's even at Tottenham shows you that, obviously a former Chelsea manager, but obviously he must have been told something by Daniel Levy to even take this job, that he was going to be able to bring players in.
Yeah, Leon, I totally agree. Millions, whoever you want. Then they come in, we didn't quite get it over the line. Sorry, Conte. Conte is brilliant. We absolutely love him at Tottenham, we love him. He is absolutely the best thing that's happened to us for a long, long time, and Levy's going to mess it up.
Absolutely. Well, listen, Lee, really good call.
Thanks,
passionate call. Let's speak to Paul. He's a Spurs fan. Paul, you've heard what the former the caller did. He said about it's Daniel Levy's fault. First of all, what did you make of the performance today?
First of all, guys, thanks for having me on the show.
No, anytime.
First of all, I was thinking that in terms of the formation personnel, it's too defensive. We had in midfield Harry Winks and also Højbjerg. Why didn't we start with Lucas Moura? Why? Because he's been in the last 4 or 5 weeks, he's one of our best players. Lucas Moura has scored loads of goals and been very creative. How about Gil? Gil came on in his second half when he's a bit too late to make an impact.
Who'd you play Moura instead of today?
Other sacrificed. Bergwijn. To me, Bergwijn, he's been there for about 2 years now. To me, he hasn't cut the mustard. He hasn't done the business yet. You know what I mean? To me, it's just been a waste of time. You should sell him. You know what I mean? But anyway, going back to this game as well, I mean, we've played Chelsea so far this season 4 times. We haven't scored 1 goal in 4 games. Not 1 goal. It's an absolute joke. I mean, I'm so angry at the moment about Tottenham. I don't know what to say. I mean, I agree with the last caller with Tottenham, right? I think Joe Lewis and Levy, they need to go. Honestly, as a club, but we're a joke. In the last 30 years, we have had about 25 different managers. In the last 20 years, that's absolutely ridiculous. As a club, as a club, we're just a total laughing stock. I mean, Chelsea and Arsenal are ahead of us in terms of prestige. Even West Ham now are coming up now. As a club, Tottenham, it's just a joke. I'm just so embarrassed as a Spurs fan. I'm so angry, honestly.
Well, listen, great call, Paul. Enjoy your evening.
Thanks a lot, mate. Take care.
Nice one. But you know what? Do you know what I do feel sorry for? He usually hammers me for saying that. But I always say,
no, but I feel for him.
Enjoy your evening.
I know, he's probably...
I just ranted for like 5 minutes. Enjoy your evening.
Do you know what though, right? He made a good point, right? Lucas Moura just doesn't get the rub of the green, does he? It doesn't matter what he does.
He's a scapegoat.
He's a scapegoat, absolutely.
Easy target, because I think he's a nice guy, so it's like, we'll put him on the bench.
You can't not play Bergwijn.
You can't not play Moura.
Man scored a hat-trick in Champions League semi-final and didn't play in the final.
And has been playing well.
Yeah, and that was a different manager.
But again, that's my point. The whole way, every single time, whatever manager it is,
I agree Moura doesn't get the rub of the green, and I would have played him today. But Bergwijn has to play. He said he would have played him with Bergwijn, who's done nothing.
But they're not like for like, though. They're completely... You've got to find a way to fit them both in, I think.
I agree, and that's the problem. It's one game. Come on, like one game in the league.
Against a team that you always lose to.
Okay, they lost against Mura and they lost twice against Chelsea in the Cup. But one game in the league they've lost.
So you feel optimistic?
He does. He's always been optimistic.
The Spurs are in with a shout for top 4, for sure. For sure
I can't see it, not just because of them losing to Chelsea, but I just don't think they have good enough players.
Yeah, that's the only issue. That's the only issue that
it's a pretty big
takes it away from it. But Antonio Conte is doing an elite job. That's why he's an elite manager. He's getting these players playing that are average. It's an average squad that he's come into. To say you're still in with a chance of top 4 shows how good a manager he is. And I am concerned, like the callers are, that he could get frustrated with this situation and he will just walk.
Well, the thing is, we know he's a great manager, right? But don't you think it would only take you so far? His, influence on the team, because yes, he's maximum. I agree with you. The best managers get the best out of the players individually, and Skip and Winks look like rejuvenated since the new manager comes in. But those players, you put them against the top teams. They're very weak.
I can't wait to hear what he says after the game, because I agree with your point, Leanne, when you said about he needs better players, and you can only take these team far enough. And was he bought in on a promise that he was going to get money to spend, which we haven't seen yet?
Well, it's funny you said it, because we're going to be hearing from both managers very soon, and keep getting your calls in because the switchboard is packed. And there's actually one fan on here, his name's Bilal, so we'll get to him probably next as we come back, who's actually questioning Conte, so that should be interesting as well. This is Darren Brett's Boot Room.
A great performance from a Spurs point of view. Harry Kane was very quiet. I think they were very aggrieved by that goal that they thought should have stood, but if you watch it back, I think there was enough of a push. I mean, Thiago Silva's a very experienced defender. He knows that he probably made a little bit more of it than he needed to, but there was a push from Harry Kane, and don't give the referee the chance to make a decision, I would say, and he perhaps didn't need to do it. I was actually looking at Stephen Bergwijn when that was down, because he'd gone down. I thought he'd pinged a hamstring initially. He went down so quickly. So my eyes were there, and then all of a sudden Harry Kane had all this space, and I'd wondered how he'd managed to get that much space, and it was because that little nudge in the back. Thiago then made a lot more of it than he needed to, and that was why the goal was ruled off in the end. So I don't think Spurs can argue that much about it, and to be honest, if it had have stood, it was completely against the run of play.
Faye, do you think, going back to Lukaku, do you think that he will come through this situation? Because I saw today there was a time he spun like Sanchez, and I was saying to Bentley that he's hitting all of his strikes at the moment of like the goalkeeper is a perfect height for a goalkeeper, and he doesn't look clinical. And I'm like, when he was at Man United, yes, he come under criticism, but is he as good as he thinks he is? Do you know what I mean? I'd say with his records, he put himself into the elite group of people, but he's gone to Milan, and that's no disrespect to Serie A, but I don't think he is this player that Chelsea thought they were going to bring him in and instantly win the league.
Yeah, I see exactly what you mean, but and I know what you mean about Serie A, but you've still got to be able to do it, haven't you? Which is exactly what he did. But obviously, there've been question marks over him before in the Premier League, and perhaps he can't do it in the Premier League under pressure. I just don't know. What will be really, really interesting to see is how he reacts after the FA Cup game that they have, and then when they go out to Abu Dhabi, because after that, in the Premier League in February, they've got 3 relatively easy games. I think it's against Burnley, Norwich, and possibly Newcastle, if I've got that right, but certainly 3 teams they face that are in the relegation battle at the moment. And so if he can't do it against those 3 teams, if indeed Thomas Tuchel sticks with him and plays him, then there's definite question marks, I would say.